What up? This is Robert Ory.
Or three-pointer. Buries it.
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Ory for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Ory from downtown.
Hell yeah. If you're playing the home version of the Big Shot Bob podcast, this is episode 125. Done this a $1.25, man. B-Dog Brandon Harper, I'm Rob Jenners. With us, of course, is the bald 7-time NBA champion.
Got that low cut.
Yeah, man, you got to buzz down. I like it.
Yeah, man. You know, I was going swimming, so it feels really good on the bald head.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure that feels just like refreshing and
yes.
My God.
Yes.
We have, my goodness, we got a chunky show today. Holy cow, we got stuff to talk about. Immediately before the show starts, you guys start in on this, the boat ferry fight that's been like everywhere. That happened down in your neck of the woods, is Alabama, down South Alabama, Riverfront.
Yeah.
How far is that from where you grew up, where this whole thing unfolded?
Hour 30 minutes.
Okay,
you know, the
so
crazy part, I didn't even know they had that river there.
Yeah, it's down in Montgomery, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they started talking about all the history that came through. I'm like, wow. So it's amazing. You only know what you know.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that about Montgomery.
Well, if you're new to this show, we play a game on this show called Black Crime or White Crime.
Time out for a second.
Okay, go ahead.
Uh-oh.
I'm not denying that, you know, when we have these type of things and, you know, people didn't dig up the history and everything like that. If you go to any major port or dock in the South, there was always some slaves coming through them ports.
Oh, geez.
Every single one of them. If it's in the South, there was something coming through it. Everybody was talking about, ooh, and that's the same one where they dropped off. I said, I can go to any port in the state of Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, South Carolina, North Carolina, anywhere below the Mason-Dixon line where there's some water, some slaves was dropped off. So I get it, but let's calm down.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying I didn't know that. I didn't even know there was a river that could access.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because I know about, you know, Charleston and, you know, because they made that into a market where they used to bring in the slaves. But it's just so weird that they had. I know Alabama was, you know, involved in slavery, you know, deeply. But
he said involved.
I'm trying to keep
you just happen to wander in at the last minute. Oh, there's something going on? What is going on over here?
I said involved deeply.
So I have so many questions about this story, too. So we're going to talk about it a little bit later in the show. And if you are new to the show, we play a game on this show called Black Crime or White Crime. And we will talk about that story, and we will play around. We will find 7 or 8 of the most ridiculous stories from the last few weeks I could find. And it's up to Rob and B-Dog to guess, was it a black guy or a white guy? And I have a feeling that ferry boat story is going to be a nice jumping off point, if you will, no pun intended, for that game.
Oh, man.
Go ahead.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun just to talk about that because, man, there's so many things
There's so many questions I have. We'll get to it in a little bit. There's other stuff. I
even called my brother and said, "Yo, man, you got any of your boys involved in that? Let me know." Yes.
Oh no! Does he live out that way, or is he still?
Brother, he's still in Alabama, my hometown, Andalusia, and so yeah.
But it's always, how come the first call is like, did you know anybody that was mixed up in? Were you down there? Were you part of this shit? No, I swear I wasn't. We have a lot of sports stuff to get to before we get to that this week. I guess we should start with AD's extension. We knew this was coming. The first day he was eligible for it, he gets it. Our friend Mark Medina, who was on the program a few weeks ago, wrote this up on Friday. He gets a 3-year, $186 million extension. The quote from Clutch Sports about the Lakers said, quote, "They understand AD and his work ethic has shown. He has some injuries, but it wasn't due to him not working. It's not like he came into camp overweight or showed any laziness." That feels like a shot at Shaquille O'Neal. There were just fluke things. That happens in the game. Davis has a deal worth $270 million when accounting for the 2 years and $84 million left on his current contract. So AD gonna be around for a while.
Yeah, and that $186 could, with incentives, could go up to like 206. Depending on
what are the incentives based on? Is it
probably
based
games
on,
played.
It has to be,
Probably,
right?
it has to be games played.
Games played.
Got it.
Because the productivity when he's on the court, he's just is phenomenal. But it's just stay on the court,
Right.
I mean, Rob, we saw this coming.
Yeah, you had to, man. When you think about it, and you take away the injuries, and he's a generational talent. This guy is one of the most talented guys in the league. He can bring it up. He could really, win MVP if he just said, you know what, I'm gonna take a page out of Jokic's book because he can do everything Jokic does and more. He just needs to put it in his mindset that I'm gonna be aggressive. I say, F everybody from LeBron to whoever's on his team to, I'm taking over. It's my team. I'm the talent, and just be that guy. But is his mindset right, though, to be that dominant guy where he just says, fuck everybody, I'm the big dog?
Yeah, he has the skill set, like you said. I mean, obviously, Jokic has the edge in the passing department. But as far as everything else and being much more physically gifted, yeah, he kind of has the one-up in everything else. He has to stay on the floor long enough for us to be able to see that because we know how dominant it is when he is on the floor. Yeah. And does he have that dog mindset? Because with this extension, dog, we've been saying this for a minute. This is your team now. It was your team already, but the Lakers are telling you, yo, the keys, you got the car keys, the house keys, the keys to the pool house. You got the keys to everything right now. You're the centerpiece in which we're going to build everything around. He just turned 30, I think, sometime this year. So that's the thing that kind of scares me now when they get to 30 and the other side of 30, especially when you've had injury history in your 20s. So we'll see how this goes because he's going to make in the high 60s by the time this contract is over with.
Uh-huh. Look, I mean, I think we all knew he was going to get extended. And I really didn't think that was even a matter. I think the only reason there was any kind of question about it was his health. That's the only thing that you can really call into question when it comes to Anthony Davis. Like you said, Rob, we know how superior a talent he is. We know how good he can be. And you see it in those bursts when he's healthy. You saw it in the burst, I think it was early in the postseason last year, where he just went on that tear. It was like 4 or 5 games where he was just unstoppable. And
he had like 10 games where he was averaging like 40 points.
Something like that. It was a run.
Yeah. He blacked out.
You gotta bottle that up, and you gotta do that more often.
Right.
And I think that was the only hesitation the Lakers probably ever had with him.
Yeah, because if you think about that, if you look around the league, tell me how many guys in the league can guard him. I can't just pick one guy that can guard him because there's nobody.
A few, but not a lot.
Yeah, because he's quicker than Embiid. Mm-hmm. He's more athletic than Jokic. And what other big out there
Giannis?
Can guard him?
Giannis is probably the only.
Giannis is probably the closest.
Yeah. Giannis is the closest, but he's stronger than Giannis. I know that saying he should be because he's even though Giannis strong as shit.
Yeah, I was going to say they're pretty comparable.
I'm like, when you got a guy like that, you can body him because AD know how to use his body, back him down, and then use his fadeaway. So it's like really nobody that can really guard this guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's. Man, when you see a Hall of Fame talent, because that's exactly what he is. He's a Hall of Fame talent.
Yes,
and then you sit there and he deserves the money. It's not even about the fact that he deserved it because like you said, for that 10-game stretch, and we've seen it when he was in New Orleans. We saw it in the stretches when the Lakers were in the bubble, how he played. We all know what Anthony Davis is. So him getting this type of extension, okay, cool. He's one of the guys that's no-brainers.
Right.
It's just. The holdup has always been anytime he falls on the floor, everybody in Crypto.com arena, everybody in Southern California, stretching all the way to the East Coast who are Laker fans, hold their breath. Because he hit the floor, but is he going to get up? And when he gets up, is he going to be healthy?
So let me ask both of you guys, and we'll put a little friendly wager on this. How many games does Anthony Davis play this year?
His average has been what, 52?
I was gonna say
like
sub 60.
50?
Yeah, it's been in the 50s. I don't know the exact number.
So time management, load management.
You think he plays 60 games?
I think he plays 65 plus games this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a big number. For AD, that's a big number.
The thing is with AD, he needs to come into the season in shape. he didn't come into the season in shape last season. I don't care what anybody says, because the true tale of you in shape or not as an athlete, when your back starts hurting, that means you ain't in shape. And his back was giving him problems at the beginning of the season. Remember preseason, the first couple of games, it was his back. He wasn't in shape. And I don't care what anybody says, been there, done that. And so if he comes in shape, that means your back's not hurting. You're not like limping or, trying to adjust for that and you hurt something else. So if he comes in shape and keeps on that path of working out and literally just going to PT, physical therapy every day, because you go to PT even when you're healthy to make sure the little injuries that you had don't jump back up and haunt you throughout the season. So he needs to have a strong regimen, and he could play 65 plus games this season, maybe 70.
I got him right now 60 even. I think that's a pretty good number, especially for somebody. I hope it's more. I really do. I hope it's more along the lines of Rob, where it's 65 plus, and more along the plus side. But I'm gonna sit at 60 right now until I see something else.
How much of that is injury? How much of that is load management? Is the other question too. You know what I mean? If he's healthy and you're managing him, fine, I get it.
Yes.
If he's not healthy, that's where you start to run into that gauntlet of issues. So
but my thing is,
congratulations, dude deserves it.
Yeah, he deserves it. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, he's Jesus. You talk about
the Lakers dealing out a lot of money this offseason.
Dude,
they got it. If they want to be in the mix, if they want to capitalize off where they were last season,
you got to.
Yeah.
That was the other thing. So the other big rumor this week was that the Lakers are maybe targeting Christian Wood. Arguably one of the more talented free agents still out there. Last season he was 18.1 points a game, just shy of 9 boards, 2 assists, and about a block a game over the past 3 seasons. 38% shooting on long-range jumpers. I was surprised to see them looking at him. I mean, we had the conversation, I think it was last week, the week before, about you want to see them try and get a more true guard. And I think you're maybe getting a little bit of a dabbling with that, with what Steve Kerr is doing with Austin Reeves on Team USA. But Christian Wood seems to be the outstanding rumor to the Lakers right now.
Let's not get it wrong. Christian Wood is a talent.
He's a great player.
But mentally, will he be engaged and try to win a championship? Oh, he's going to get mad. Oh, I ain't getting enough minutes. I'm going to check out. Because think about it. If you sign Christian Wood, he's going to be battling minutes with LeBron and Rui and AD. So his minutes ain't going to be consistent. One night, he might, have you seen it with Ham? You might play 35 minutes for 3 games straight. The next couple of games, you sitting over there for ain't touching the floor, because you have so much talent on this team and you're trying to, figure out a system and everybody's role. So you take a guy like this and you keep your fingers crossed, but, who knows, though, if he's going to be mentally ready. You're going to have a sit down with him, LeBron, AD, Ham, Pelinka, sit down and say, hey, this is how it's going to roll out. If you want to roll with us, let's roll. But don't get upset if you ain't getting no minutes. And that's sort of where it goes.
How old is he? Is he in his 20s?
Is he in his 20s?
No, he should be in his 30s because,
he really?
He went overseas and played.
I almost said 29,
yeah.
But I might be wrong on that. Let's see. Go ahead.
I look at it from the standpoint of there are certain teams.
27.
Oh,
27?
He's in his prime.
Yeah.
Okay. There are certain teams that you can be on, and certain franchises that you can be a part of where that attitude can work, where you may be able to bully yourself into getting more playing time because you're catching an attitude or you're feeling a certain type of way. I just feel as though any team that's led by LeBron, led by AD, that has the leadership that they have and they have the depth that they have now, you gotta come in with the mindset of, I'm a depth piece. I could really help this team and provide some depth with my athleticism, with my ability. I'm adding, it's just more, weapons added to the artillery. So he can't come into and wearing purple and gold with the attitude of, hey, I ain't getting a whole bunch of playing time. Guess what? It's a couple other guys that are pretty good. They ain't going to get a lot of playing time too. Cam Reddish has shown some promise here and there. And, people want to see what he does. Like Rob said, he may not get a lot of playing time. So you're not the only one, dude. Come in, play your role, and help this team win a title. And then maybe you can go somewhere else, and then you can demand more playing time. But when you're donning the purple and gold, you don't have that cachet to come in here and demand that playing time.
Well, and what's to say too if you're not part of a championship contender that you can't get that way in LA. That you might not demand some more time because of how you perform.
Right.
And the funny part, we just sat here and I forgot about Jackson Hayes and Vando.
Yeah.
Vando.
So I forgot about them.
Yep.
I'm just sitting there like, oh crap, he got more people to contend with.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you're a depth piece, dog. Come in and be a part of the crew. Help out where you can. Show your value on the floor. That's what Darvin Ham wants to see. Show your value on the floor and make his job harder for him. That's what you want to do. Play so well that you make the head coach's job a lot harder when it comes to rotations.
The other rumor that has popped up this week about the Lakers has been Gabe Vincent versus D'Angelo Russell. That Gabe may be able to come in and take that job from D'Lo.
I don't think that's happened.
Okay.
I just don't, because D'Angelo started last season, and I don't think D'Angelo is an off the bench type of guy. Think about it. Even when he came back from injury, and someone in front of him was playing better than him, he still got in the starting role. So I don't think he's going to come off the bench. If he come off the bench, I hate to say this, but you might lose him, mentally. And you can't, he's too much of a talent to have him coming off the bench unless he says, you know what, I'm going to be sixth man of the year and go in that Westbrook mode where he said, I can do this for the Lakers. But who knows? I don't know the guy personally. I don't know what his mental is. And if he can say, okay, you know what, I'll accept sixth man of the year, because if he did do it, think about him on what shots he can get versus playing with Austin, LeBron, and AD.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll be like, yo, coach, let me go in this second unit so I can do what the hell I want to do. But some guys' mindsets aren't like that. They say, oh, I'm a star in the NBA. Oh, that's like, hey, I'm a scorer in the NBA. I'm a sixth man of the year. Look at Manu Ginobili. We all know he should have been starred, but he came off the bench.
Well, I mean, we do a show every week with a guy who had to contend with this. I mean, you started in Houston. And then you had to kind of change your role as your career went on.
Yeah. For me, I only cared if I was in the game in the fourth quarter when it counted. That lets you know, hey, I should be a starter or not. But
right.
It's about what the coaches want, what fits in the system. And I think for me, it worked for me, and I didn't care. I said my paycheck's gonna be the same. I'm getting out here getting some minutes.
But like you said, not everybody's wired that way, though.
Yeah.
That's tough for a lot of guys. You got to put your ego aside.
You know what? Even if this isn't true, I think it's good for D'Lo to kind of get some things in order, because he had a very subpar postseason last season. And my thing is, there was at one point in time where I didn't think he would be a Laker again.
I didn't either.
I thought he was going to be a trade chip or of some sort. And so the fact that they re-signed him and they brought him back, and then they go and get Gabe Vincent, I think was it 3 year, $33 million. I figured it wasn't just going to be, hey, we're just going to hand you the keys to the starting role. No, y'all going to battle it out, because I need something. I need to see if you can put that postseason, whatever that was, behind you. And I need Gabe Vincent to come in here and light a fire under you. So if you want this role, you're going to have to take it. It's just not going to be given to you, because I don't think it warrants giving to you after the postseason that you had.
Gabe Vincent must have not been offered anything by Miami for him to just leave Miami like that, because he played a significant role for them. And all of a sudden he's like, bye.
Yeah.
Well, Miami also might be trying to clear room for
they holding out.
Yeah, for Damian Lillard.
They holding out for Dame.
They're trying to go, look, how many guys can we legitimately put on the books knowing we need to spend this money on Damian Lillard down the road? And that's if that ever comes to fruition. That has gone nowhere. It's been months, and that hasn't moved an inch, which
and
is
I guarantee
hysterical.
Pat Riley probably went to him and said, hey, this is what we're trying to do. If you can get more money, so be it. We love you and thank you for what you provided for us. So I can see that. Because some GMs are, respectful enough to talk to players and tell them what they're trying to do.
Right. And by the way, I'm all for bringing in a guy that is going to fight one of your current starters for his role.
Oh, yeah.
I'm all about that. And in any situation on any team.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, it's push them. It's what's your value? What are you going to bring to the table? Or do you want this job? Or are you going to hand it over? Or are you going to try and earn it? Like I'm all about that. Like bringing a guy, because for some reason it's like this idea that if you have a starting role I got to roll. I'm fine. Yeah. All of a sudden, your attitude just checks back a little bit, and I'm like, oh, man, you got to be forward. You got to play with aggression. And I think that forcing the guy to sing for his supper more or less is it might get you there. It might get you there
because he's supremely talented. We all know D'Lo is supremely talented.
Yeah, both of those guys are really talented.
It's just sometimes
let him duke it out.
Yeah, let that. And if D'Lo is going to have it, it's because he earned it.
Right, not just given to him.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got a whole bunch of other stuff penciled in all over this sheet, and it's all over the road. I guess we could do Scoot. I wrote this down. Did you see Scoot Henderson? Said
no.
I think it was yesterday or today. So I'm going to win Rookie of the Year. Put it in the books. Rookie of the Year.
I can believe that.
Tall declaration when you're playing against a guy like Wemby.
I'm not even putting Wemby in the top 3. He might be 3rd.
Brandon Miller.
No, not even Brandon Miller.
Who are you talking
Cam
about?
Whitmore.
Oh,
I got him winning Rookie of the Year.
Really?
Interesting. Yeah. This because even though Scoot's body is an NBA body, people ain't talking about Cam.
Mm-hmm. No.
This dude is pissed off. He has an NBA body, he has an NBA game. Just watch him this season. He can stay healthy. He gonna be one of those guys that be like, oh, this my trophy.
I didn't think
he gonna pull the line out of Dreams book. Oh, that's my trophy. I'm going to get that.
Okay.
I think we all just handed it to Wemby based on hype. I think it was just like when you do everything we do here, where you look at a guy's breakdown physically and what they do, you're like, okay, he's gonna win it.
Did you hear Tracy McGrady's thoughts on Wemby?
No.
He basically said, I'm not believing the hype. He said, I think we've seen this before. He said, you talk about a guy like Bol, who is also...
He compared him to Bol.
Well, he looked at it from the standpoint of, he said Bol hasn't really had much of the opportunity. But you talk about a guy that's, 7'3" as well, lanky, can put the ball on the floor, kind of just like Wemby can. He says he doesn't think that Wemby isn't. He thinks Wemby's good. He says, but the whole hype train, he's like, I don't understand it. He said, because we done seen it before with Bol, and we've seen it before with a couple of other guys. And, you got Chet Holmgren, who's in OKC, this is really going to be his rookie year because he was hurt last season. So he said there's a couple of guys out there that kind of remind me of him, and everybody's kind of hopped on the hype train of Wemby, and it's kind of like, we done seen this before. So he said I'm going to hold off on it.
If you really think about it, he's right. Because we need to hold off on it. Bobo is never – when you think about how many times when Bobo gets in the game, we like, well, damn, why ain't this guy getting minutes? And then and plus, I had a lot to do with who you're with too.
Yeah.
San Antonio ain't got much over there. So he has a better opportunity to score, have the ball in his hands more, and, do it that way. But Bobo been on teams that are, you might be 5th or 6th in line to even get the ball to shoot it. And so I understand what he's saying because I'm really interested to see how Chet comes out and play.
Yeah.
Because I think he's a talent that we've forgotten about. And you think about it, we saw this in Porzingis,
Kristaps couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah.
He just hadn't stayed healthy. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's true. I would line him up more with Porzingis in that vein than Bol. I just
it's from
I
the
don't think
standpoint
Bol had any kind of that level of hype.
But it's the same type of body frame.
You're talking about the physical stature.
Yeah, his ability to put the ball on the floor. It's just like you said, Bol hasn't had he's not gone to a place where he had the same opportunity.
Yeah, that's true. The other thing I scribbled down here before we get to Gilbert Arenas calling out Team USA, and I don't know if he has a point or not. Skip Bayless's new partner for the large majority of his shows is going to be Richard Sherman.
We've seen the two battle it out before on ESPN.
Yeah,
I've seen them battle it out on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Richard Sherman might put his hands on it.
I was going to say, look, Richard Sherman, very smart, very well-spoken, but can get aggressive sometimes,
When he went to Stanford? What did he go to school at?
Yeah, Stanford.
Went to Stanford. So his IQ is off the charts.
He's
so
a
I'm really
smart man. Very smart man. Very well-spoken.
And they needed somebody who, with that level of personality, and somebody who's going to go back at Skip if you want any type of person to watch that show ever again. So they picked the right person. Now, they say he's only going to be with them for about 50 to 100 shows a year, and mostly talking, obviously, football. So this fall, Hey,
I'm waiting for the first fight.
That would be kind of cool, though, if every year they say, okay, it's the seasons. I shouldn't say year. The seasons, okay, football season, you come in. He should have a panel with football, basketball, baseball, have all those guys sitting around Skip so they can put him in his place.
That's true. Yeah, give him a whole bunch of different people to shut him down.
Right.
And make him look small. But I don't know. I'm waiting for the first big fight on set. Then we're really going to see if Richard Sherman boils up.
Call me Chris one more time.
Oh, man. Ooh. We'll get hot. All right, so Gilbert Arenas called out Team USA this week, and there's a couple things here. They're competing in the 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup in Indonesia. Gilbert didn't like the roster. He said, quote, "You see what Steve Kerr got? A sorry-ass group. Some of them probably don't even start for their own team." I don't know if that's necessarily true. The lineup right now, Paolo Banchero, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, Josh Hart, Tiny Dog Brandon Ingram, Jaren Jackson Jr., Cam Johnson, Walker Kessler, Bobby Portis, and Austin Reeves. I think almost all of them are starters.
Just two.
I was going to say maybe 2 or 3.
Bobby Portis, he's almost won $6 million a year. And I think Walker Kessler, does he? I don't think he starts.
I don't think he starts either.
Yeah, but everybody else starts.
Everybody else on that roster is a starter, and that's not a bad roster by any shake.
It's, you got to think about this. It's FIBA. It's not
the Olympics.
Medal. It's not the Olympics where, guys like Steph and all those guys who probably come out and play. But I just think, this is weird. My wife brought me, she put this on my radar. She brought this to my attention because he also said something about me this week. And you go through these periods where I think guys are just pissed off at the world for whatever it may be. And I think Gilbert at this point is just trying to get, clicks. And my wife wanted me to respond to him, what he said about me.
What did he say about you?
I ain't hear this.
When he came out and they was talking about whose career, we talked about this, whose career would you rather have?
Oh, yeah.
James Harden to mine. And he went on to say, I didn't even read it. I told my wife I didn't want to hear it because, I don't argue with idiots because, the person on the outside don't know who the idiot is. So I don't want to hear it. And she was like, he said this, you should respond. I'm like, I give a 2 shits what he said about me. But it said something that I was basically a guy who just, rode coattails of every team I was on to win championship.
Well, that's bullshit.
And so I just, for me, I say everybody can have their opinion. That would make America so great. You can have your own opinion, even though it's, is what it is. So I don't care. Gilbert Arenas is on one this month. So he's asked me multiple times.
He has turned up this month because I've seen his name pop up like 5 different places in the last 3 weeks.
He's whatever the hot topic is, he has something to say negative about it. He's trying to become the villain or something. I don't know what he's doing. I have no beef with Gilbert. I hope Agent Orange has the best ever. I hope he gets into the Hall of Fame. I hope he wins a championship. I hope all these things.
I don't think he getting into the Hall of Fame, bro. I think he ain't getting into the Hall of Fame, dog. He didn't do enough. Gilbert Arenas didn't do enough. He had a nice little stretch, but he didn't do enough to be a Hall of Famer.
I'm trying to take the higher road here.
No,
man.
you are. I don't. You know what?
You in the clouds with the Hall of Fame. You can come down a bit.
Yeah, I hate people who pull out the "you rode someone else's coattails" line.
Yeah,
that drives me crazy because he knows probably more than anybody. If you're on an NBA roster, you're not riding anybody's coattails. You got to earn your spot. NBA roster, coach, GM, they'll cut your ass, as you well know, in a heartbeat if you're not pulling your weight.
But it's not even that. Forget that. Ask your former teammates.
Right.
How many times has Shaq said it? How many times has Kobe said it? How many times have other teammates from other teams that you won titles on said it? That should end the conversation because outside of you personally saying it, the next best thing is people that you played with vouching for you. So as long as they can vouch for you and say, nah, he was a key contributor to this thing. Hey,
that's why I told my wife wanted me to respond. I'm like, I'm not doing that, Candace. Just calm down. Everybody can have their own opinion.
But I get it from her perspective. Yeah. It's like if you feel disrespected, and that's a very disrespectful thing to throw on somebody.
I don't feel disrespected. This is for me. I say, okay, this is coming from a guy who, he's mad at the world. Yeah. He didn't win a championship. He's never done anything but score a lot of points. He wasn't a defensive player.
Bona fide player though.
Yeah, great
player.
You know, that's what, you know, and when you get a nickname, to me, you've made it in this league, you know, Agent Zero. So, hey, I'm cool with, you know, he is, you know, I have no beef with him. He's asked me multiple times to come on this podcast before this came out. I just hadn't had time to do it. So you know, even now if he asked me to come, if I had time, I would do it. So I got no beef with him.
You know what could be worse though?
What's that?
I always look at it like this. People can always not talk about you at all. There are guys who they've come and gone, and it's kind of they've gone into the abyss, and they've kind of just been forgotten. And if your name just kind of continues to circulate and it's in rotation, then
but I don't want to be like with you. Like you have a very good reputation in the NBA. I think everybody we've ever had on this show genuinely loves you and respects you. Like I can't think of a guest we've had on here who's like, oh, I'm ready to pick a fight with Rob. Like everybody that comes on is like, yo, and they like, and just it's that, like, keep your name out in that light. Yeah. You don't need to stoop to the depths of, I'm going to talk shit about Team USA or I'm going to crap on somebody else's career just to keep my name relevant. Like I don't like that. You know,
part of that is even when it came to the Team USA. I mean, I can kind of understand.
Well, I brought it up just because we're talking about Team USA. I got audio from Trae Young. I was just using Gilbert as a jumping off point, but it's like, I don't know, man.
Trae didn't make the team?
No, he did not.
He got cut or something? They didn't try.
No, I don't think he was invited to play. Now, he said he wanted. So here's the audio. This is Trae Young.
Do you want to play on that Olympic team? Have you given that some thought?
Man, I mean, obviously, like, I definitely want to. Like, I've talked about playing on USA a couple times, so I definitely want to. It's up to them if they want me to. I mean, I would love to play with guys and show off my passing even more and not have to go out and score a lot and just be there if they need me to. So, I mean, I'd be happy to, obviously. I'd love to play, but I respect the OGs and understand you got to take your turn, but I believe I should be on.
So yeah, he just believes he should be on that team, and he should have been invited. He was not. You think Trae should be on that team with that roster I gave you a few minutes ago?
Well, you know, would you take Trae or Josh Hart? That's the only person I could see him probably, and it's no disrespect with Josh. I think Josh is a better defender, but I think Trae is a better scorer. What is Team USA looking for? That's what you have to look about. Right. Like if you look you got a bunch of damn guards already on that team.
Yeah, you sure do.
And they're big guards, and so I think the smallest guard over there was Jalen Brunson, but he's still a big guard. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's like he. But also he did say Olympic team, and this is not the Olympic team.
No, it's not. It's not. But
I'm pretty sure he would have loved to get some run out there on this team. I wonder if, there was this stretch, when it came down to Trae Young where, there were some people who he wasn't in the best light with a lot of people, with a lot of players around the league. And even maybe with some coaches. I wonder if when it comes down to this FIBA team and even the World Cup team, if that still has some lingering effect when it comes to maybe the way that he plays or how guys feel about the way that he plays or how coaches and executives see him around the league. And they know that he's a really great player. But what if they just don't see him as the type of player that they want to have on that team? I think he should be on that team in some capacity, on both of them. But what if, you start looking at the players and what you need them to do and how they match up with some of these other countries. Maybe some of these coaches don't see him as a fit.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's the coach's choice, and this is who they want, and this is who they're going to invite. And I totally agree with you on that one because, when you're a villain, unless you're a Dennis Rodman, that's really exceptional at a niche like rebounding, so because scoring wise, if you look at that team, there's a lot of dudes on that team who can score. So if he was a lockdown defender that was like hated, he would be on this squad.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good point. Very good point. And you're right. This is a very guard heavy roster.
It takes really good guard play to win in FIBA. And in the Olympics, you look at even like the Redeem team.
You got to move that basketball.
Like those guys who can handle the ball, who are very athletic, and can set up offenses. That's why you've had USA be so successful in the last so many years.
Yeah, I do have a couple awesome baseball stories this week.
Yes.
A couple real good ones. I'll
Here we go.
I'll play the first one because it's fun. The second one makes me angry. The first one was we had an old school throw down, gloves in the dirt baseball fight this week, and I was so happy because I love nothing more than a real, I pushed a second baseman and the bench is cleared. That sucks. I want Tim Anderson and Jose Ramirez literally squaring up like boxers ready to go at second base. And the call on this is absolutely phenomenal.
Ramirez on his way to second. Head first slide. Safe and in to score is Jimenez. And another hustle double. Right over the bag at first. Now Hosey and Anderson square off. They're fighting. They're swinging. Down goes Anderson. Down goes Anderson. Ramirez went in with a head-first slide. Hosey never gets upset about anything. They came up chewing. Anderson squared off. Hosey decked him.
That's Tom Hamilton, the radio play-by-play announcer for the Cleveland Guardians.
You know the funny thing about
Holy
this?
cow, what a great call.
Yeah.
When you look, and this, I'm not taking anything away from Jose Ramirez. When you swing enough, because he wasn't looking.
Oh no, yeah, that was he just caught him.
He caught him, but he caught Tim Anderson good. And the simple fact, it's not even the fact that he caught him. It's the fact that it knocked Tim Anderson
caught him in the jaw, man.
And he fell back like you know how some people just fall back in the pool and just let gravity take them? That's what Tim Anderson looked like when he fell back. It's like he got hit and he just went out cold.
Hey, it looked like when those boxers, I just watched the De La Hoya documentary. You got to watch that. And it looked like when the boxers like, boom, okay, I'm done.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they get that one shot locks you up and down you go.
Go to sleep.
I just caught him on the chin coming around.
Hey,
so
he was still dazed when he got up.
He was. Yeah, he had to shake that off, man. He had to shake that off. Tim Anderson caught 6-game suspension.
Yep.
Ramirez caught 3.
Yep.
Honestly, I don't know if Ramirez should have got a game now. I think maybe just because he was the one that kind of popped up. Well, no, Anderson got knocked out. He's the one who
Anderson got knocked out.
But Anderson was the one who Ramirez got up and started yapping, and he kind of instigated the whole thing. But Anderson was the one who's like, gloves off, fists up, let's go.
But didn't it start with
old man?
Yeah.
But didn't it start with Ramirez putting his hand in his face or something?
Yeah, he was jawing at him and pointing at him and yelling that. I think when Ramirez went in for the slide, I think when Anderson tried to tag him, he hit him in the face or something.
Okay.
It got Ramirez again, and he said it in the call there that Ramirez isn't a player that usually gets chatty and pissed off and yelly, and so the fact that he popped up and was mad, and then Tim Anderson immediately went to, all right, let's go. Let's go. Took his earrings off, rolled his sleeves up, kicked his high heels, and said, let's go.
The only thing he forgot was to grease his face so that punch would slide off.
Because you can't be the one. Let's just keep it real.
Yes.
You can't be the one to throw the stuff down and throw the fist up and get in the fighting position and then get knocked out cold. You can't initiate it and then get knocked out the way that you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to have to take one or the other. Either you don't initiate it and get knocked out, or you initiate it and you knock him out. You don't initiate, but then you ready, and then he turn around and just knock you cold out, and now you getting up woozy. You can't do that.
Man.
I guarantee you Anderson had been training for boxing this summer. And so he was feeling himself like, oh, I've been training. Let me really try this shit out.
Nah, he ain't been training. He one of them. We're gonna get into this later, but he one of them. He one of them brothers. He one of them ones that probably in the neighborhood had to stick up for yourself, and that's how you kind of learn. And drop them gloves and drop the ball. Hey man, let's get to it. It just so happened to bro, you seeing stars. That's it.
My favorite baseball fight of all time is still Nolan Ryan and Robin Ventura. This was 30 years ago this week. Nolan Ryan drills Robin Ventura.
On. I got to show y'all something. Hold on.
What? You got a picture? You get knocked out?
I don't know if he's got a picture. He's got something though.
Someone
He's got
know?
goods. He's got like a Nolan Ryan jersey or a picture of the fight autographed or something. What is? Oh,
there it is.
There it is. A picture
He
of the damn
actually got
fight.
him.
Nolan Ryan got Robin Ventura in a headlock
Start punching him.
and beat the piss out of him.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Wow.
And this is Nolan Ryan at the back end of his career.
Yeah.
So Nolan Ryan was an old man.
He signed that for me. He says,
Who signed it?
Nolan.
Nolan Ryan signed that picture for you?
Wow.
What a
Yeah,
great
he said-
picture.
It says to Big Shot Bob, don't mess with Texas.
Oh.
Keep shooting.
Dude, that's amazing.
That's kind of dope.
That might be one of the best pieces of sports memorabilia you got. Damn, you got some good stuff, but that might be one of the best. That's my favorite fight. Just because Robin Ventura was so young and Nolan Ryan was an old man. And he said, I'm going to whip this old man's ass. And Nolan threw him in a headlock and just like 4 or 5 shots to the face.
Yeah.
And then it was, oh, man.
Have you ever met Nolan?
No, never.
No.
Really
never had
nice
the pleasure.
guy, man. Really nice
What a
guy.
legend.
Texas through and through.
Dude threw 7 no-hitters in his career, which is
crazy.
nuts because I think the next highest number is like 4, 3 or 4. I don't think anybody's ever thrown more than that. Nolan Ryan throws 7 freaking no-hitters.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I do. I'm a sucker for a good baseball fight, man. I love a good baseball fight.
Me too.
The other story of the week was, and I'm gonna preface this with a question before we get into the story. Have the Lakers ever been critical of you for being critical of the team on TV? Like, have you ever said something and Spectrum got a call and said, hey,
Yes.
Jeannie's mad or Rob's mad or...
No, it was doing when Kobe was there. And you remember when I think it was Swaggy P, Uncle Earl, all those guys. They hit
this
the game.
is when D'Lo was there the first time around.
Yeah, they hit the game winner. It was like, oh, no. And then
And
Kobe
they all
was
went
on
nuts.
Kobe was on Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy Kimmel asked him if this would have happened when you
I know
didn't
exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
And so I went on TV and said, this only happened because you weren't there.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I saw that.
Yeah, I think I told y'all about this. And so, and everybody, they call and says, just said, well, I'm not. Because, if you want someone to follow your lead, you need to be there. And, a lot of people got upset at me, but it's the truth if you really think about it. If you want to teach these guys how to be professional, be there and be in their ear and say, hey, we got to do A, B, C, and D. And so that's all I said. And so, they was like, oh, you can't be that critical of Kobe. I was like, I'm not being critical, but he can't be critical of a situation that he's not there to control where you off doing something else when you should be with the team and teach them the ways. That's how everybody does it. You learn from the masters, right? And he's the greatest one of the greatest masters to ever live when it comes to basketball.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest story in baseball this week, and the reason I asked the question the way I asked it, is Kevin Brown, who is the TV announcer for the Baltimore Orioles, has been suspended indefinitely. I'm going to play you the clip, and I want you to think about this for a minute. This is the audio that got Kevin Brown suspended indefinitely by the Baltimore Orioles.
It's been a minute. The Orioles split a 2-gamer with the Rays in June. They had lost their last 15 series here at Tropicana Field. You have to go back to when our now colleague Brad Brock picked up the win in the series finale June 25th, 2017, the last time the Orioles won a series here at St. Pete. Already got 3-2 at the Trop this year after winning 3 of 18 the previous 3 years combined. It is a stark difference, Ben, and it is not a bad Rays team.
I had to listen to that about 5 times, and I gave up trying to figure out why he got suspended. So I Googled it. The Angelos family, who owns the Baltimore Orioles, suspended Kevin Brown for being critical of the team's past record against the Tampa Bay Rays by saying they had lost 15 of whatever it was, their last 17 series against the Rays. Now, mind you, this man and the music you hear in the background is because there's a graphic up on the screen that is laying all of this out. Like, here's the last time they won in Tampa Bay. It was at 2017. These were the dates they won. They haven't won a series since 2017 in Tampa. The Baltimore Orioles are in first place in the American League East as of today by 2 games.
And they just got Jack.
They just got there. And this dude, for some reason, the Orioles suspended him for being critical of their past shortcomings when he didn't editorialize that. He didn't crap on the team. He didn't give you reason. He just literally presented the graphic that was on the set.
If you came into
he got suspended indefinitely.
If you came into this baseball season and you would have told me in the AL East that the Baltimore Orioles, they lead the division, right?
They're in first place as of
by
what, 2
games?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, by a game
second best record in baseball, right?
Yep,
if
behind the
you would have
Braves.
told me that not only they would be leading the AL East, but like you all said, have the second best record in all of baseball, each and every single one of us on this show would have laughed at you.
We would have thought it was a comedy sketch.
Ain't no way with the Yankees and the Red Sox and even the Blue Jays, even in the Rays, because the Rays came out smoking.
Yeah. And won their first 13, I think, before they lost the game, 14 games or something.
So you're mad at somebody who's actually announcing something that the players did or did not do over a certain amount of time over the last few years. They've been absolute doo-doo.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, they're worse than doo-doo. We always talk about the juice and the little trash that spills out sometimes when there's a leak. They've been that.
Garbage water.
They've been that. And you're mad at him and suspending him for saying it? Hey, man, I'm going to need some folk to take the thong out their butt. I really do. You need to blame them players. Don't blame the announcer. He's only announcing what the players did or didn't do.
Yeah.
And it's weird that we have been on our show in Spectrum, and James and I have talked about the Lakers' record versus the Clippers. Shit, everybody on the damn show will be suspended.
Oh, you got a whole broadcast crew that's been blown out, man, if that were the case.
Yeah, we've been talking. We've been giving the stats and talking about how the Lakers cannot beat the Clippers.
What you want us to do?
Exactly.
And the thing that kills me the most is about this whole thing, he didn't just make that stat up. It wasn't like that shit was prepped and on a graphic, which means the producers had it, the guys in the truck had it, they had the graphic done, they had the music ready. So if you're gonna suspend Kevin Brown, you suspend the dude in the truck, you suspend the game producer. It was in the freaking game notes for that game.
Right.
In the media game notes had that information in it. He is not presenting anything on TV that was editorialized or disparaging in any way. This is the facts of the record, and he got suspended. John Angelos sucks as an owner. Holy crap, this guy blows. What an embarrassment.
Has he come out to say anything about being suspended?
All the Orioles have said so far is we don't comment on suspensions. We don't comment on media relations, internal matters, whatever the hell it was.
But so does the Orioles own the radio company?
No. Well, he was for TV. He was the TV broadcaster.
Right.
But
so they have a say over the TV rights.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, it's like, and we work in baseball radio here in Atlanta, but the team has a say while they're not our direct employer. We do work for them.
Right.
So, I mean, if they wanted to get, Ben Ingram, who calls the Braves games here, they wanted to get him run off the radio for some reason, I'm sure they could probably flex enough muscle and get it done. But point being, he didn't do anything wrong, and the Orioles are getting destroyed for this, where this should be like the most joyous time in your history.
Exactly.
You're in first place in the division for the first time since Cal Ripken played for you. I mean, Jesus,
Damn,
man.
that's a long time ago.
Celebrate. Enjoy the moment. Instead, the Orioles are the laughingstock of baseball today.
They're going to make a big stink about it, and then he'll be back.
Oh, of course. He'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, and if he's smart, he'll take the high road and he'll go, thank you for all your support. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
But
money don't make you smart.
Holy cow.
It just doesn't.
Dumbest shit I ever heard in my life, man. But that's why I asked you if the Lakers were ever critical of anything you guys say on TV. Because, I mean, I do get it. You know, this is the broadcast that represents your team. Okay, fine. Yeah. But it wasn't like he was editorializing or anything.
I can understand if they was losing in last place and he was saying something like that. Hey, but like,
But even if you were losing and you were in last place, it don't make anything you say any less the truth.
It's still true. Your record was still hot garbage against the Rays for 6 years. That's the truth.
Could you imagine somebody forcing you to say something good about a team that sucks? That whole broadcast would be quiet. Could you be sitting there just looking at each other?
Orioles broadcast would have been off the air for the last 10, 15 years if that were the case.
Be like, oh, Rob, your haircut look nice. Oh, I like the uniforms they're wearing tonight.
Yeah. Ain't nothing
Anybody
else
got anything else? No.
All right, good. Good night, everybody. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get big shot of the week, and then we're gonna move on to the boat fight. I'm so excited to talk about the boat fight. Big shot of the week is gonna go to an 8-year-old Louisiana girl named Allie Glass. She was on a 4-wheel ride with her 83-year-old great-grandfather. He took her out on the 4-wheeler when the 4-wheeler crashed into a small canal, and Jesse got pinned below the 4-wheeler, and this 8-year-old girl ran a half a mile home to get her mom to call 911 and ended up saving her great-grandfather's life.
Wow.
That girl ran half a mile back to her house in time to get a 911 call in so that paramedics and rescue could get there and save her great-grandfather.
There we go.
So God bless that little girl, Allie Glass. Big shot of the week, young lady.
Absolutely.
That's dope.
I remember riding 4-wheelers with my kids and how dangerous that can be. And I was, in my 30s, so I'm shocked that an 83-year-old was out
with his great-granddaughter.
Yeah,
8-year-old great-granddaughter. So, God bless that little girl, man. Woo.
Yeah. She had the smarts to just, you know what? I got to, put the shoes on and put it in high gear and get back, or Grandpa ain't going to make it.
I'm going to book it. All right, so when a black man throws his hat in the air in the middle of a fight, is this like an indication that I need help or something? Because, that was the weirdest shit I ever saw in my life. This man's getting jumped, and to his credit, is doing his best to fight off these guys. And in the middle of the fight, grabs his hat, throws it up in the air. And then, sure enough, 5 other people just show up. One dude jumped in the river and swam across to try and back this man up.
Let me tell you something.
Holy cow.
Let me tell you something right now.
18 years old, the guy who jumped in the water.
Let me tell you something. Yeah. No, that's not a call, but that's just to let you know that it's about to go down.
Yeah, something's up.
Because the other dude threw the first punch. When you lay hands on somebody, if we're just having a verbal confrontation, once you put your hands on me, ain't no going back.
No. Mm-hmm. No, yeah.
And that's what that had in the air, man. Ain't no going back, dog.
And the other guy, this is how TV can get you in trouble. The other guy, he'd been watching too much WWE or whatever. He tried to come in with a Superman punch on the dude. And once he did that, he was like, other guy, man, why'd you gotta do this? Now I got to get into the fight and all this kind of stuff. But it was just bananas, man. Yep. It was bananas.
It was, and it took a very racial tone. For obvious reasons. I mean, you have 4 white guys, all of them trying to beat up a black guard. And
really, more than that.
No, ultimately. But, to the guards, that's how it started with this little stupid pontoon boat.
Right.
But to the guard's credit, the guard's doing his job.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Dude's just yo, stop with the fights. What's happening? What's going on here? And then he just gets jumped.
And then the funny part is you think about the first guy that came to help the black guy. He was trying to get everybody off, and one of the guys punched him, and he looks at him like, dude, you don't want none of this smoke. And the guy I fucked up. He moved back. And it was just stupid, man.
The whole thing was very stupid.
The fact that Buddy jumped in the water.
That was the capper.
Swam over there, and then was able to climb up on the dock. And the fact that everybody just came from, it was, for the lack of a better term, it was a beautiful sight. I'm never one to condone violence, but at the same time, I'm never one to, hey, if you gonna start it, we gonna finish it. And that's exactly what happened. You saw all the guys, they end up getting back on the boat, guys running up to the dock, nah, come here, jumping on the boat, punching people. Ladies, let me tell y'all something. I saw a few of y'all down there, and I understand, it's one of them things where, you want to help out, but it's a couple of y'all that caught a few of them, a couple of strays too, because you want to, put yourself in that situation. There was a couple of ladies that got in and knocked you out. Stay out of them situations.
Oh God!
Because it becomes a melee.
Yeah, and then we don't know who we hitting.
Yeah, at that point, you only seeing color. If you're not black and you're white, you getting taken. Black person, white, black, God, getting taken back forth. Yep. And so and everybody was like, oh, I can't believe he hit that girl. I'm like, yo, you fighting? and it's a melee like that, you just know it's like all I see is what color uniform you got on. You ain't got on my color uniform, you getting these hands.
And that's the other thing too. Adrenaline runs so hot in that situation that rational thought is gone. Now it's just I'm gonna throw fists and try not to get my ass whooped, and I don't even care who I'm hitting.
Right.
But
you know what I mean?
it's the memes and how fast they came out with it. You got a rap song.
Dude, it went nuts.
You got people like in the markets like buying chairs, and it's just crazy. But the
people are reenacting it now. Just the other one I saw.
I saw that
reenacting, climbing out of the pool, and the dude swam across the pool. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, and then you got the guy says, "Oh, I guess he didn't have his Crocs in sports mode with his feet at the end of the Crocs."
Busted out. Yep. Saw that too. Hey. I saw, and I don't know how it really is. I ain't been in Walmart since to check the prices of these foldable chairs. But I wouldn't be surprised these chairs went up in value.
Oh, yeah. All of a sudden, these are $45, $50 chairs. You're like, the hell?
I see what you're trying to do. I'm not buying one, but I see what you're trying to do.
And one guy he walking around with a metal clip with a chair on his hip.
Oh, no. I mean, I hate that it got racial. That sucks out loud. But the whole thing is just wild. Oh, my God, what a wild story and wild visuals. And if you haven't seen it, go online and it's everywhere. I don't know how you haven't seen it.
The perfect depiction of F around and find out.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, my God, yes.
All I did put in was MONT, and it came up Montgomery.
Google's like, we know what your ass is looking for.
We know what you're here for.
We know what you're looking for.
Montgomery in. I just put MONT and Montgomery.
Montgomery Beach boat fight. Okay, damn shit, it knows right away.
Yeah.
Well, that was the whole story. Seemed like a perfect jumping off point for us to do around. We haven't done one in a while of black crime or white crime. So I have some absolutely insane stories from the last few weeks. It is just your job to tell me, was the perpetrator Caucasian or African American? Go ahead.
It's funny. I just think now it's like this is like the segue where I tell everybody I'm not going to say it, but just go watch Chevy Chase and Richard
Pryor. Oh my God, what a scene! What a scene!
Saturday Night Live.
The fact that he threw an N-bomb on Richard Pryor on live television was like literally today. I still just was like, oh, God! But what a brilliant scene! What an absolutely brilliant scene! All right, story number one, gentlemen. A real estate agent has been slapped with a $15,000 fine after a Ring camera caught him slurping milk straight out of the carton at a client's home. This is according to authorities. The agent is seen raiding the fridge during a house tour, pulling out a carton of milk, drinking straight out of the carton of milk, and popping it back in the fridge before moving on.
I'm gonna be honest with you, that's black.
So, is that a real estate agent, a black guy, white guy?
I've never seen. I don't think black people drink milk, man.
No, they drink milk. It's 2%.
Unless in a cereal.
You're still drinking it, but even then, black people drink milk. You might have.
I know they drink milk. My dad used to drink a glass of milk before he went to bed, but this just seemed like a white crime to me.
So you've never seen a black person drink milk straight out the carton?
Unless you ain't a little kid.
He's saying he's never seen a black person just drink milk by itself.
Man, you ain't never had cookies and milk?
No, hell no. Cookies and milk, that's nasty, man.
What are you talking about?
I just said something about it's like I can't even eat tres leches because it's I don't even know how to say it is right because my wife and my sister-in-law hates this word. It's just too moist. I don't like it when it's just too moist. It's like no, it's like wet. I'm like,
she doesn't like the word moist.
Yeah, no, Gina, my sister-in-law, she hates the word moist. I say it all the time.
All right, here's the thing. There are a lot of women who don't like that word. I don't know what is it. Something happened that we don't know about at some point.
I know, right?
But that word, rubs people the wrong way. All right, so B-Dog says black guy. Rob says white guy. This guy's name is Mike Rose. Yeah, that's a white guy. Yeah.
Oh, that name could have gone. That name could have gone either way.
Yeah, Mike Rose was the guy.
I didn't see black folks drink out of the carton and put it right back.
As a white guy. Yeah, he did. And by the way, that's
here's the questions. I know you probably do this, but Rob, you have a family full of people, a house full of people, I should say. Do you ever just drink out of the carton and stick it back in the refrigerator?
God, no. God, no. No, never. I mean, I didn't do that when I lived by myself.
Shit, I did all the time when I'm by myself. It's mine. Ain't nobody else gonna be drinking out of it. Hey, that's just one less glass I have to wash.
Oh no. I'm a germaphobe. I'm not down for it. No, thank you. Plus, I don't need one of them catching me doing it and thinking that they think it's okay for them to do it. And then I'm backwashing other people's. No, I'm good. Thank you. All right, story number 2. A 25-year-old Ohio man was taken into custody on Tuesday and remains in jail as of Thursday after he allegedly attempted to enroll in Fairmont High School for the coming school year for undisclosed reasons. 25-year-old man tried to enroll in high school. And I don't even want to get into all the horrible, horrible reasons as to why this man may have tried to enroll in high school, but was arrested at a school activity. So everything about this sucks. But was it a black guy or a white guy?
I'm going to say white guy.
Okay.
Unless that team had a good sports team.
Trying to live out them football dreams and get on the squad. Yeah.
I'm gonna say black again.
Okay. This was Al Abu, a black man. Yeah. Black guy trying to enroll in high school.
I think that was an African dude.
That name?
Al Abu.
I think I heard this story now that I'm thinking about it.
You may have. I don't know. It was a weird story, man. 25 years old, trying to enroll in high school.
He went to jail, right?
He went to jail. He got arrested. He's still in jail. Yeah. I don't know if he made bond yet or not, but that's terrifying. All right. Story number 3. Last month, a North Carolina man was honored as Horseman of the Year. This month, he faces felony charges after police say he fatally shot a horse. What's worse, he wasn't aiming at the horse. He was trying to shoot his son, who was riding the horse.
What the heck?
And he missed, and he killed the horse. A dude went to jail.
Oh, this gotta be a white guy.
This sounds like some white.
That's some Yellowstone shit. That's straight white shit right there.
That man's name is 75-year-old John Russell, and that is a white man. Good job, guys.
And the crazy part about it is, bro,
Yellowstone.
Can you imagine this? I didn't mean to shoot the horse. I meant to shoot my son. You going to prison one way or another.
That's not an excuse, man. Yeah. Y'all sniff that one out fast.
As soon as you say a horse.
Horseman of the Year. I'm sorry. At no point do I see Rob turning around and going, hold on, wait, I was Horseman of the Year back in, what I mean? No, sorry.
I ain't got that award in here.
It ain't happening. You ain't reaching around. All right, story number 4. A would-be crook strolled into an Atlanta salon and loudly demanded everybody's money. But he left none the richer because none of the patrons, co-workers, or workers in the shop even paid him any mind.
Oh, I remember this story.
He demanded the money several times. Everyone in the salon completely ignored him. So he turned around and walked out.
Yeah,
I saw that on the news.
I think this was a black guy.
That was a black guy.
You both need to watch the news a little closer.
Oh, no, you're right.
It was a white man.
You're right.
The salon, full of black folks.
You're right.
I thought he was black, though.
White bearded man walks in.
You're right.
Starts shouting for everybody's money, and everyone just gave him the look, and was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
You're right.
Went right back to what they were doing.
I thought it was a black guy.
Nah, it's a white guy.
Not at all. Yeah.
It's
you're
a white
right.
guy. It's a white guy.
Dang.
All right, we'll stay in Georgia for story number 5. A Georgia man is wanted for murder. Who was wanted for murder, I should say, was busted after he left his phone at a restaurant where he did a dine and dash with his friends. He and his pals were out having a bite at the Juicy Crab in Cobb County, which is a restaurant around here. They ran up a $100 tab and they dined and dashed, but the dude left his phone on the counter. When the police picked up his phone, here's a selfie of him. On the front of the phone, they used that to track him down.
He black.
And caught his ass. That is Brian Garfield Fort, a black man.
Yeah. And I hate to say it, but we be up in the Juicy Crab.
Yes.
He's having dinner with Jameis Winston.
I don't care what a Juicy Crab is. We be up in there.
Jameis Winston eating crab legs. And,
exactly.
I know because I be up in there sometimes.
Me too.
All right. You both are all up in the Juicy Crab. Noted for future reference. All right.
Yeah, I have one in South Carolina I go to when I go there.
Dude's good. Story number 6. If at first you don't succeed, try again. That was apparently what a New Jersey man figured when he allegedly tried to rob one bank, failed, and then crossed the street and successfully robbed the bank on the other side of the street. He was charged with 3 counts of second-degree bank robbery, Obviously, they would have caught him at the first bank, but he doubled him up and did it twice on the same block. So, dude that fails to rob a bank on one side of the street, crosses the street, robs the other bank. Black guy, white guy.
White guy.
Yet again. 0 for 2 as a black dude.
I'm trying to figure out how as a black man he was allowed to get the second chance to go rob a second bank.
I'm like, the cops would have been there in 2 seconds.
Here's my question, and I was reading this story trying to figure out, how do you fail at robbing the first bank? How do you, do they, because you figure the only way you fail is if they call the cops or they sound the alarm, no, how do you fail enough to be able to walk 20 feet and rob another bank?
Like the banks here in LA, they all have those bulletproof glass up, so you cannot get in there.
Okay.
And so if they close the door and say, you got nothing, you have to walk out.
I've seen videos of people that try to rob a cell phone store where they come in and then they're like, hey, can I see that phone? And then they try to make a run for it and the dude hits the button and locks the door. And then they're stuck in the store and then they have to sheepishly walk back to the counter.
There was a thing where a lady
the phone
had
back
that.
and then call them. I am trapped in the store.
Hey, that's almost like the guy who was robbing the cigarettes. They have that thing now where everybody's robbing these jewelry stores where they go in with the trash bags and they just rob, and the jewelry people just like, I'm not going to put myself at risk. But this one dude does it in the market or whatever. It's and he turns his back and the cook puts him in the headlock, and the owner of the store gets the broomstick and just whooping his ass with the stick. Y'all haven't seen that one yet?
No.
Oh, you got to see it.
Oh, I'm going to Google that.
And he's like, stop. He's on the ground and he's just whooping his. And there's a black guy that's filming. He said, hey, man, while you back there, give me a pack of those Black and Malls, whatever they call it. And then he's filming the whole time while the dude's doing it. Then he says, whoop his ass. Whoop his ass.
No.
You got to watch it. You got to see it.
Trapped and whooped by a broomstick. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, last story. Police in New Mexico arrested a man after they discovered he was responsible for an alleged theft at a local consignment store. How did they catch him? Well, prior to the alleged theft, he handed the clerk at the store his business card with all his personal information on it. So I guess he was trying to hook up or something. He gives this girl his card. He's got a business card, all his information, and then tries to rob the place. Black guy, white guy.
How did they catch him prior to?
I'm gonna say, due to the fact that he trying to get a hookup, that seemed like something a brother would do. You walk up and, yo, baby Daryl, let me get them digits, man. Let me holler at you.
Yeah, but the fact that they
card.
handed a business card and then tried to rob, I'm gonna go white.
I'm going black.
This was 40-year-old Michael Crowder.
He's black.
He's white.
Oh, okay.
Well, D-Dog pulling out the win on the white guy.
Jay Crowder's brother?
Jay Crowder's brother. No, and I will tell you, I've never been handed a business card by a black man. I haven't. Every time somebody's stuck a business card in my face, it's been a white dude. Every time.
For the record, black people do hand out business cards.
No, I know they do. I'm saying I personally. Okay. Every time someone's like, well, here's my card, it's always a white man. It never fails. Just never fails.
Yeah.
All right, well. Good job, and hopefully everybody stays off the Botox at the end of this week's Black Crime or White Crime.